All right. So it's time to talk about goal setting. So I'm gonna talk about SMART, the acronym SMART for goal setting. For those of you who have not heard about that before. So one thing that did not help me for this morning is my attire, black, red, and blue. I should have probably had that on my goal setting, right? Make sure I color coordinate. But let's just keep going. It's early in the morning, and everybody's still asleep in the house. I'm just wearing my PJs underneath. So, all right. So real quick, it's super important, right, to set goals. And I heard a lot of different ways of people set goals beginning of the year for 10 years, 5 years, quarterly, weekly, daily, hourly, whatever it is, right? And if you're starting out in a business, how do you know? This is my biggest question I get, or kind of the biggest hurdle is, well, if I'm starting a business, how do I know if I can actually get somewhere? Like if I set a goal to do, 100 flips this year, how do I even know that I can get there? And how do I even get there, right? Maybe you've done 2 or 3. So you want to kind of reverse engineer it, right? If you've done 3 flips in a year, or you bought 2 properties in a year, well, how much time and energy, what did you have to do to get those couple of deals, or, throughout the year? So you just got to replicate that, right? If you want to get 10 times the amount, you want to double whatever it is, you kind of have to double what you did, right? That's as simple as that sounds, but you got to reverse engineer it. Now, if it took you 80 hours a week to do that work, well, then you got to think outside the box, and you're going to have to bring some team members on, because you can't add more hours to your week, okay? So just throw that out there. I know it's hard sometimes, especially if you're going to start out. You don't know what goals to set, right? Like, okay, I want to buy X amount of dollars in properties, right? But how do I even set that goal? What's realistic? Another thing you can do is just ask around, right? Connect with your network, folks that have already done it, and just say, hey guys, is this feasible? What does this look like? If you're part of a coaching program, or you're part of a mastermind, that's why I believe strongly in having a coach and being part of a mastermind, because you can always ask somebody who's where you want to be, right? I believe in life, you're always going to have a mentor or coach, right? That's kind of above you, or just, or somebody like a peer, right? Or just somebody you look up to, right? You want to get to where they're at. And then you're going to have somebody at kind of your level. That's your kind of your peer, right? That's at your level. Kind of you can go together. And then you're going to have somebody you're going to be bringing up, right? You got to be bringing up somebody. So it just kind of, it's just a nice flow, right? And everybody kind of pays it. The guy that you're bringing up forward, when it gets to your spot, he's looking up still at you, hopefully, and he's bringing somebody along, right? That's just the way you do it. But let's go ahead and talk about these SMART goals, and how to set them, or just in general, what is it? I think it's one of the best ways to set your goals, just because it's spelled out pretty nicely. And I'm not the best guy at writing goals and reading and following instructions. Okay, so if I can follow these instructions, you guys can. And I'm also going to include a worksheet. So I'll put like a link at the bottom, and I'll include the worksheet with a little bit more of details on it. So if I can, on the Facebook here, or whatever social media platform this is on, I'll put a link somewhere so you can get it. Okay, so you'll have the document. So basically, what does SMART stand for, right? It's basically it's for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound, right? So let's just break it down. When you set up your goal, it has to be a specific goal, right? It just can't be kind of wishy-washy, right? It's got to be specific. What do you want to accomplish? It's kind of like a mission statement, right? Like, hey, this is what we're going to do. And what is included in that? Let me tell you what's included. Not the details, right? Not from A to Z what you're going to do. No, it's going to talk about the who, the what, the when, the where, which, and the why, right? In big picture, right? That's basically what it's going to talk about, okay? And then you're going to do your measurables, right? What are your KPIs? What are your, how are you going to get, what are your measurables, right? What matrix are you going to use to get to that goal, right? Okay, that's your measurable. And then achievable, right? It's got to be, it's important that it's achievable, right? So it's very important, for sure, right? Shoot for the moon, and I believe in all that, right? But you got to make sure it's achievable. And one quick tip, guys, The best goal setters, we're actually not the best goal setters, but the ones that hit the goals the most, like more consistently. And when I say guys, I always mean it's always neutral, gender neutral, okay? The women are the ones that hit their goals more often than men. Or just because I don't want to say they're not as big thinkers as guys. No, it's just they just set achievable goals, right? You know the guy from Shark Tank, Kevin O'Leary. I was at one of his meetings a couple years back, and I was in the front row. My buddy of mine, we kind of like sneaked in the side door before anybody got in. We ran. Well, he snuck me in, and we ran into the front row. His name's James, and we sat right in the spit zone, right? And he was talking about how every business that he has that is run by women, right? And the women set the goals. They hit their goals, you know, at a higher rate than the men do, which is kind of crazy, right? So I wonder why. Somebody asked, they say, well, he says, because us men, we have a big ego, right? And we want to like conquer the world, right? And then we just aim, you know, we aim so high and we don't hit it, right? But if you want to actually achieve a goal, right, I just want to throw that out there. Just make sure it's achievable. Make sure it's relevant to what you're doing, right? Make sure it's not like, you know, you have eight different things going on and it's going to be hard to get to your goal. So it definitely has to be relevant, and you got to put a time on it. Okay, you know, you got to put a time. It's got to have a time limit on it. So there's ways to set goals. You can set goals for 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, right? You can set a goal for quarterly. You can set a goal for monthly, weekly, daily, right? So how do you eat an elephant, right? One bite at a time. So just reverse engineer it and just start taking action every single day, right? If it's 1 hour a day, if it's one thing a day, whatever it is, you start taking action on the smaller scale and it just starts building up. Don't look at the big picture because it can be overwhelming. You're like, holy crap, how am I gonna get there? But if you start just taking action every day, actually if you just create a daily goals or weekly goals and you hit those every week, those would translate to your monthly, your quarterly, you know, your bi-yearly, your yearly, and all that, right? If you're just hitting those goals in a kind of a short-term, short time frame, okay? So that's my quick 2021 goal setting for you guys. We've already got our goal sets for 2021. We did that in I think late November, early December, so we can start implementing everything. So as soon as January hit, we are ready to start rolling. So I'll share the links. I'll share a spreadsheet that I got, and let me know what you guys think. And hopefully this helps some of you guys out there. Have a great day.